everyone. My name is Emily and welcome back to my channel, Em Reads. And I am so glad to finally be back. You may not have even known that I was gone. I know I had some pre-filmed videos that we're posting, maybe not quite at my previous rate, but at least keeping something being posted here. But I am finally actually back home from our little vacation and travels and filming in quote unquote real time, I guess now. And we are so glad to be back and in our own home. And I am very happy to be back talking to you again. I feel like in real time and doing this again. So we are just very thankful to be back on our own house and our own bed and recovering from the travel, able to do laundry, get the house back in order, and get our son settled again, all the things that come with having been gone for a slightly extended period. So yeah, so we're just really, really happy. All the travels were great. We had a wonderful week at the beach on the Gulf Coast with my family. And that was really, really great. The weather was wonderful. The water, the last couple of days we were there was so calm and gentle. So it was really great for the little kids to be able to kind of ease their way out into the water a little bit and be a little less afraid of the crashing waves and things like that. But they had a great time running around, and we got really good morning walks on the beach, and that was really, really great. And then when that a week was over, my husband and I came home, and my parents wonderfully picked up our son and kept him so my husband and I could fly to Mexico so we could be there for my sister-in-law's wedding, which was also beautiful. They picked a great resort that we were at, and that was really, really beautiful. So that was also a great time. And then we turned around and finally came home. So we got back the middle of last week, but we just kind of took some time to get back in the swing of things with work and getting the house straightened up again, refilling the fridge with groceries and unpacking, doing laundry, and all of the things that come with coming home after a little absence like that. But we did also get to have some good reading time, which is what I want to talk to you about today. I'll talk to you some about what I read, as well as some of what my family read at the beach. So yeah, let's just get into it. The first thing that I finished was All the King's Men by Robert Penn Warren. Very much not a beach read. Let's just say that right off the bat. I had started this earlier this summer and then just ended up putting it down in favor of some other things for a while, very kind of unintentionally. But when we went on the trip, I was about 200 pages in, I guess. And this is a pretty lengthy book. My copy is about 650 pages. So I still had quite a ways to go. But so I really wanted to finish it. And so I just decided to take it with me and force myself to finish it first before I started any of the other books that I had planned on taking. And gosh, definitely not a beach read, but man, this is a good book. If you have not read this, maybe don't take it to the beach, but it could be a good like fall winter read, honestly. So if you need something for your fall TBR and you like a good political novel, or if you're interested in novels that take place in the South that are very steeped in a Southern feel, this would be a great one to pick. It is, and I know everyone talks about how dark this novel is, but I don't think I really anticipated how dark it would be, particularly towards the end. But I'm really glad I read it. Really glad I finished it. This was a really, really good book. I don't know that I would say it's one of my favorites of the year so far, but like, I mean, if I'm doing a top 10, I don't know, it might be in there. It was really great. But so after finishing that, I did need something a little lighter next to pick up. And so that was The Warden by Anthony Trollope, which also became my first Victober read. I have never read any Trollope before this. And it was also a nice, slim little, around 200-page book. So that was also nice after All the King's Men. But I loved this. This was a great, lighter, but also has some surprising depth to it, which I don't think I expected, really. But I loved this story. I loved the story of John Bold and Mr. Harding and Mr. Harding's daughter. You know, I loved Mr. Harding's relationship with his daughter and how sweet and loyal to him she was. I just thought this was a great story. And frankly, I may do a separate video just on this book because I think it has really interesting things that, frankly, I think lawyers should contemplate. And so I almost kind of want to talk about it from that perspective of mine, which might be a little different than what most people might talk about with this book. But I really, really liked this, and I really want to continue on with this series of Trollops. But okay, from a very long book to a short book to another long book that was about 700 pages. I may not have read many books, but I read 2 really long books and 1 short book. And the other really long book I read was the near unanimous pick for me to take. And that was The Thorn Birds by Colleen McCullough. And guys, I cannot tell you how much I loved this book. I loved this book. This was so engrossing. I wanted to keep reading it. I mean, do they write books like this anymore? I kind of feel like they don't. I feel like this kind of book was so, maybe not ubiquitous, but much more this style of like family saga covering generations and like passionate love story was so much more common in like the 70s and 80s. And why don't they write books like this anymore? Or if they do, what are they? Tell me what they are because I want to read them. But I loved this book. I never really hear anybody talk about anything else by Colleen McCullough. So I know she wrote lots of other things, but is this just kind of like her best? Or is her Men of Rome series good? Let me know what you think about that, because if anything else she wrote is similar to or as good as this, I'd be interested in reading it. But gosh, I love this. The Thorn Birds follows the Cleary family, who are originally in New Zealand. They're of Irish descent, but they are in New Zealand, and they are farmers, sheep farmers, and they get an opportunity to move to Australia to work on the sheep ranch of their aunt and kind of take over the running of the station, because the father of the Cleary family will eventually be the heir to that. And it just details their lives from the time of that move and how they take to Australia, the people they meet. And the descriptions Colleen McCullough writes of the Australian outback are stunning, just absolutely gorgeous. It absolutely makes you want to go, but the way she depicts the flora and the wildlife, the seasons, the weather, nature is absolutely gorgeous. But the novel, while it spans it kind of covers 3 different generations, sort of, with kind of the primary character being Maggie Cleary, who is the only daughter of the Cleary family. And it kind of follows everyone's relation to her and her relation to everyone else through the years, and how that affects things on the station and everybody else's lives. And it follows her kind of forbidden love with Ralph, who is a Catholic priest, and the implications of that on their lives. And gosh, this is a stunning book. Now, I really want to watch the miniseries. I'm probably going to do that over the next little while. I think I saw it on Amazon Prime. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else like this? Do they write things like this anymore? I don't feel like they do, but maybe I just don't know. Yeah, so if you know anything else like this, I love a good family saga, and this one was pretty top tier to me. So yeah, let me know. But this was great. And so most of the time of my trip was spent reading this, because it's about 700 pages. And while it's a very engrossing read, it's not necessarily like a fast read. Like, you do still have to like be in it and take it in and think a little. It's not just, you can breeze through it without thinking or things like that. But I loved it. Okay, so a few of the things that my family read at the beach. One of my sisters started to try to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and I don't think she got very far into it. She did not care for it, and I think put it down pretty quickly. So that was a bit of a fail for her, kind of unsurprisingly, I think. And my other sister read Good Material by Dolly Alderton, and I don't know that was quite up her alley either necessarily, but I think she enjoyed it. I don't know that she'll read anything else by Alderton, but she enjoyed it enough for a beach read, I think. And my mom knew that I was planning on reading the Thorn Birds, and she had read it a long time ago and decided that she wanted to reread it as well. So she had picked up a copy and was also reading the Thorn Birds. So it was fun to read that with her. And then my dad was reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I read that trilogy a long time ago. High school or college, not all that long after it came out, I guess. And I remember really enjoying it at the time, but if you ask me right now what it was about, I don't think I'd be able to tell you. But I think he enjoyed that too and found it a page-turning read. So those were some of the other things my family read while we were gone. But it's always fun to kind of have a good stack of beach reads and go through them all. And now that we are back from the sun and the sand and Mexico, I am ready to be in full fall mode. And I think it's a good time for this week for it to happen, because we are finally getting a bit of cooler weather here in Alabama. This week, I think we're going to have highs in the mid to high 70s, which is so wonderful. I know that sounds awful for fall for a lot of places, but for here, it's beautiful. So I made a soup today in the crock pot. I think I'm gonna make some pumpkin bread later this afternoon. And I'm trying to break out all my sweaters and all of that. And I'm just really looking forward to starting some fall reads. I kind of next in line for me is Wuthering Heights. I want to read this for Victober. This may bleed into November for me, but definitely this, obviously a very good gothic fall read. Please excuse my dogs barking in the background. I don't want to clip out just a million clips, so please bear with me. And then another one is Interview with the Vampire that I'm buddy reading with Catherine at the Literary Latte. So this is kind of my one like spooky season read this year, I guess, for October. But I'm excited to read this, especially now that they've had some trailers for season 3 of the TV show come out now. Yeah, so I'm excited to check this out for the first time. And then kind of looking more into November fall reads, I'm planning on reading The Spy Who Came in from the Cold for Dr. No-Vember, which I'm helping co-host a little bit, so I'll link the other co-hosts down below as well. But the group read for that is The Quiet American, which is a great novel, but I think this is another one that I'm going to read because I have not read any John Le Carré, and I think this is probably the best place to start. So this is another book that I'm planning on reading for Dr. No-Vember. And then the read-along for the Cider House Rules is also starting in November. So I'm really excited to read my first John Irving as well with the group. So I think that's going to be really, really great. But there you have it. And I'm really glad to be back and home and filming normally and talking to you all. So let me know how all of your fall reading has been going, and let me know if there are any other family sagas out there like the Thorn Birds that are still being written, or give me your recs for ones from the 70s and 80s. I'll take them. But yeah, thank you for being here, and I'm excited to be back with y'all. So I will talk to y'all again soon. Thanks. Bye.